It's the worst of the CBC for September 20th, 2019, the show where I watch the CBC so you don't have to. All right, let's talk about it. We're on day 2 of the massive scandal here in Canada, where in 2001, Stephen Harper, 4 years before he took office as the Prime Minister, forced Justin Trudeau to dress up in blackface for an Arabian Nights party. There's also evidence showing that Stephen Harper forced Justin Trudeau to go in blackface to a talent contest, where he went in blackface, put on a banana costume or banana shirt, put a fake bulge in his pants, and sung Deo, or the Banana Boat song, Daylight Come and Me Want to Go Home. Put on blackface to do that for a talent show. There are now reports that there are other incidents he wore blackface, and I'm not quite sure how Stephen Harper is responsible for them, but we do know that he is, because everything is Stephen Harper's fault. Let's admit that. So, especially the fact the economy did so well during a global recession. Stephen Harper. Anyways, so that's 1/3 of the coverage. The other third of the coverage is on guns, and the other third is on kids skipping school because they're heroes. Now, let's break this down. So, the format is, again, irregular during the election. So I'm going to say the biggest omission is this whole guns thing, because CBC News is fake news by omission, and this gun story really proves it the way they've covered it. Justin Trudeau is going to ban AR-15s. And the way I can describe this gun ban from the Liberals, it's essentially, think of it as no blacks allowed. Their theory on guns is no blacks allowed. A lot of other things, too. What I mean by this is you all seen like the pictures of the same rifle, but in like the wooden form where you associate with hunting. That's okay. That doesn't want to be banned. But when you put it in all black, right? Once it's all black, then it's scary. Then we have to ban it. This is essentially the assault weapons ban. He also wants to give municipalities the power to ban handguns. Now, most of they would say things like AR-15s, which have been used in a lot of mass shootings, but not in Canada. The sets of handguns. The biggest fact they'll always admit is that all these crimes come from illegal guns. Like 99.9% of gun crime in Canada is illegal guns. Illegal gun owners are not the problem. Even the Danforth shooting, right? We all admit anyone who's into any policies, any sort of ban or law they want to put in would not have prevented the Danforth shooting, which had nothing to do with radical Islam, even though his brother was found with enough chemical weapons to kill everyone in Canada and America twice over. But we'll all ignore that again. Now, this is my biggest pet peeve in Canadian politics, especially one of them from the Liberals. It's pretending that America's problems are Canada's problems. This is Black Lives Matter Toronto in a nutshell. This was the lunatics who first shut down the Pride Parade. One of them is stole hundreds of $1,000s from the U of T. The other one is an open, crazy racist who believes in sun ray racism. Yusuf Ragali is a crazy person. But they pretended that, it's a massacre of black people here in Canada. Blacks are just being pew, 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 pew. And the year they did this, there were 22 police shooting deaths countrywide. One, maybe 2 of them was black, and about 75% of these shootings where people died and being shot by police were exchanging fire with the police. So it wasn't a problem here in Canada, but we like to pretend it is, because that's what the left likes to do, is make up America's problems and adopt them. This is the, national thing. We're going to ban AR-15s because of America's problems. So, again, and there's a lot of lies. Now, they brought on this gun expert. They like to tote on off of the guns. And this guy's actually pretty good. He's a gang expert to talk about it. But just the phrasing, they said, we're going to bring on an expert in gun violence to say why this new law doesn't go far enough, which was a lie, or a lie by omission in the way they did it. Because what he said, and he's a former gang member, and he basically laid out the fact that this gun policy doesn't actually address the core issues of gun violence, which is, either poverty, gang culture, all these different things. He said, well, this is what we're focused on, is like, as he termed them, square root issues, not sort of the periphery gun ban. So he said the periphery gun bans don't do something. And because he said this, and if you listen to him, he's very reasonable. But when the CBC summarized what they say, the policy doesn't go far enough, which makes it seem like we need an even bigger gun ban. And he had, a lot of these shootings in Toronto are sort of social media triggered, where people basically go to the hood of their rivals and sort of tweet at them like, yo, I'm here. Or they even make songs about, yo, I'm gonna, and then this, social media rhetoric gets out online. And in order to be cool, you gotta kill these people. So there are issues to be addressed with gun violence that have nothing to do with guns, but we'll never address them ever, 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 because politicians are cowards when it comes to anything. So that was the number one story by omission. Now, the worst covered one is these climate protests across the... Kids are striking. Okay, let's be honest. Skipping school is not a strike. A strike is if I'm going to be paid, $2,000 to come into work today, but I have a principle that I'm not going to go to work, and I'll strike. I'll lose my paycheck to stand up for what I believe in. It doesn't count if you skip math class to hang out with your friends, right? That's not a strike. This isn't bravery. This is just more ways to push a radical agenda. Pretend like I'm listening to teenagers being interviewed in the news. It's like a climate crisis, and we need what are the thing? Indigenous sovereignty? Like, how is that going to solve everything? So it's just a string of radical leftists. They keep showing this guy with a pro Vladimir Lenin shirt on TV. I find that pretty funny. So none of these people are being challenged on anything they say. Elizabeth May was on TV earlier to talk about banning combustion engines. I did post a picture of her in a Dodge Viper. So all these people are just full of shit, to be honest. So all in all, what's the score in today's CBC? It's unwatchable. It's biased. It's not gonna. It just for not so much bias, but just sucking at doing the news. 9 out of 10 on the Rosemary Barton scale. I declare it 9 out of 10. Thanks for watching. I'll be with you tomorrow.